welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be walking you through how I make my chicken biryani. This is going to be like a 2-day process. So here I have ginger garlic paste by Sean. I have yogurt. This is Desi Dahi yogurt, whatever you can find. And then we have the biryani Sean masala. So I don't know yet which one I'm going to use, if I'm going to use the regular biryani or the Sindhi biryani, but it's totally up to you. Another one that I like is the Bombay biryani mix. And then I have this tamarind cooking paste. This is essential to good biryani. My mother-in-law makes the best biryani and this is her secret. Okay, and then I have chilies. You won't need this until when you're actually cooking it. Right now we're going to do marination first. And then I wanted to show you what rice I use, just in case somebody wanted to know. But like, I use sela rice when I'm making biryani or like pulao or anything rice, like a rice dish, because I think that rice works better. Also, excuse my shiny face. I just did skincare routine, so that's why I look like this. And then I have my chicken. All right, now about this chicken. I don't even know how many pounds this is. I feel like, okay, so what I did is I ordered one whole chicken cut in pieces, and then I got about 6 to 7 pounds of extra leg and thigh cut in pieces, because I'm making a lot of biryani. I'm gonna make like 6 cups of rice. So according to that, my ratio was how much chicken I used, but that's something that you have to determine based off of personal preference. Oh, and the last ingredient I have is garam masala, homemade, because it does make a difference. I mean, it doesn't make too much of a difference if you're using like these packet masalas, but trust me, if you use your own homemade garam masala, it's gonna give it that extra little something. Okay, so I'm gonna start with my marination. Why happened at me? Can you open this? Oh, never mind. I got this. Okay.
Strong episode.
Yeah. Alright, so first of all, I just want to say something though. Hello? I need to say something for anybody who wants to like talk shit about like packet spices, because I know a lot of aunties, if they watch this, they're gonna be like, how could you do that to biryani, or like serious foodies. Let me tell you something. You can make this from scratch. I've made biryani from scratch before, but it's not worth it. It's too much work, like way too much work. You can achieve it, but like, why do all that when you can literally buy Sean? And no, this is not sponsored. I just love Sean so much. Okay, so let's get started for real. So I'm gonna start with taking a cup of yogurt, okay? And that's the only amount of yogurt that I'm gonna use. It's a lot, but there's a lot of chicken, so keep that in mind. And then I'm gonna use, oh, my ginger paste got frozen. Yeah. Okay. Change of plan. I have another one. So luckily I have another Sean, but this one is like mixed ginger garlic. So you're gonna need like about 3 tablespoons of this. Okay. Shit, let's do 4 just for fun. Okay, can mix it all up. Okay, and then I'm gonna use a little bit of both packets since we have a lot of chicken. Like, we probably will be using a lot of spice, so I'm gonna use like a mixture of both, because I've never actually used the Sindhi biryani, to be honest with you guys. I've only ever used Bombay biryani and the regular biryani mix, and I like both of them, but I've heard really good things about the Sindhi biryani mix, so I want to try it. Ah, shit. I'm making a mess. Which one was which? Whatever. Oh, okay, no. This one's Sindhi biryani. Okay, so the cool thing about this is it has everything. It has the ilaichiyan, it has the longan. Like, you don't have to figure that stuff out. Because like when my mother-in-law taught me how to make biryani, and I learned how to make biryani from my mother-in-law, okay? She makes the best biryani, and she makes it from scratch. But when she taught me how to make biryani, she taught me from scratch, and she was like, you need 10 longan, 12 ilaichiyan, and like, I don't know what. So I was like, you really think I'm gonna remember all that? I mean, I wrote it down, but like, dude, that's the most. So just make sure you mix it really well. I'm going to use one whole packet of one of them. So it's probably going to be this one. Alright, now I'm adding a tablespoon of garam masala. And trust me, this does make a difference because the way I make it is I roast these spices first and then I grind them. So it just gives it like that nuttiness. I don't know how to explain it. Alright, moment of truth. And make sure you have your gloves on for this step. Seriously. I have a phobia of raw chicken because I've gotten sick from chicken so many times in my life. So me doing this, dealing with this raw chicken, takes a lot for me. But it's worth it. And I haven't had biryani in a really long time. Oh, also, this recipe is not IBS friendly. I will have a flare up. You probably will too. But every now and then, it's acceptable. So just prep your stomach really well because this will give you all types of shits. Especially if you put chili peppers in it too, because that's what I usually do. So just make sure you get it really well marinated. Okay, also, you don't have to pre-marinate your meat. I know some people who don't. My mother-in-law doesn't. She says it doesn't really make much of a difference for her. The only reason I do it sometimes is because I just think it's easier. Like, it's just easier to do in 2 days versus do it all at once. You know what I mean? I mean, if that's how you feel too, then you probably will like it like that. But yeah, that's it. So I'm just gonna wash my hands, cover this up, let this sit in the fridge overnight, and then I will come back and show you how I cook all this tomorrow. Hey guys, good morning, or good afternoon rather. It's like 1 p.m. My family's gonna come in like about 2 hours, so I'm gonna get started on making the biryani. Danish is still sleeping, so I'm recording myself. I'm vlogging. The first step is to pre-soak your rice. So I have my rice in a bowl. I have about 6 cups in here, and I'm just gonna soak it in cold water. The step is essential. If you don't soak your rice before cooking it, it doesn't like separate properly. Sometimes I make rice without soaking it, and I definitely do notice a difference. So you want to make sure that you soak your rice for at least 30 minutes before you cook it. So I'm gonna soak this in cold water. Okay, and then now I'm gonna use this big old pot for the biryani. Let me just show you. So this is like the biggest pot that I have. I do need to replace this because it's non-stick and it has like some scratches in there, but I mean, this will have to do for now. But please don't use non-stick pots that have scratches in it because it's really bad. Here's what it looks like right now. I'm gonna chop up 3 onions. This is like 1 large onion. Honestly, the amount of onions you use, I feel like depends. Like, I sometimes use less onions. Today I'm using 3 because I'm not putting tomatoes in this. I can't do it with tomatoes, so I'm just gonna use onions, like extra onions. So I'm using 3. I'm gonna chop it up, heat up my pan, start frying my onions first, and then throw the chicken in. So let's do this shit. Okay, so I'm going to use a chopper for these onions because I hate chopping onions. I don't want to cry. But I want to show you, don't skimp on the oil. So I put about like 2/3 of oil. If you're health conscious, don't eat biryani. The chopper that I'm using is really small, so I still have to cut my onion like in pieces before I even chop it. It's still better than chopping it by hand because I hate dealing with onions. It's going to make me cry, and I don't want to cry. I'm already crying and I'm not even cutting this. I'm so sensitive to onions because of my sinus issues. But let me tell you, if you have like a cold or something, or you're sick, the best thing to do is cut an onion so it opens your sinuses. Alright, I may have pulsed my onions a little too much, but it's really not a big deal. So I'm just tossing it into the pot. Here's how it looks. It needs to cook through. You don't have to pulse your onions this much, but it just happened because I used a chopper. But you can also just cut it in thin slices. So here's the thing, right? Everybody makes biryani differently. especially if you're from like a different region. My mom's biryani tastes so different than like my mother-in-law's biryani. Like my mom's biryani, she puts aloo in her biryani. I like aloo in biryani. Are you an aloo in biryani person? Please tell me. I like that, but I don't do it when I make it because I just think it's too much work. I personally wouldn't put aloo in my own biryani because I'm too lazy for that shit. So I don't know if you remember, but when I marinated the chicken yesterday, I did not put extra salt in it. What I'm gonna do now is while I'm like cooking the onions, I'm gonna put a little bit of salt into the onions because it'll just help draw out the water faster. And I'm on a time crunch, and I need to wake Danish up so he can come clean up. Especially our hookah stuff. Whenever our families come over, man, cleaning up that hookah stuff. Like everybody in our family knows that we smoke and stuff, but it's one thing for them to see it versus them to know about it. And like my nephew's coming, so all that stuff needs to be picked up. Now, okay, you don't have to wait for your onions to completely brown before you add the chicken. I know a lot of people do that. I don't. I actually just dump it all in together and it browns while it's browning with the chicken anyway. I know in a lot of traditional like Indian Pakistani cooking, they'll like brown the onions, like nearly burn them before even adding the meat. Yeah, I used to do that, but then I realized that like it takes too long. You could just throw it all in and just let it do its thing and it'll still taste the same. Alright, I need my stool now because if you know me and you've seen me cook before, I always cook standing on a stool because I can't see inside the pot unless I'm standing on a stool. Alright, I'm adding my chicken now. I don't want it to splatter, so I'm going to do it like one at a time and then dump the rest in. Alright, let me show you guys. This is what it looks like currently. So it's going to take a long time for this to cook. So I'm just going to let it do its thing. Move it occasionally. And when you're moving it, always move it from the side. You don't want to break the chicken. That's the important part. You want all the water to come out of it as much as possible because when you're steam cooking it with the rice later, you don't want the chicken to break up. So make sure you just like let it cook. Just leave it alone. Do it uncovered because you don't want to steam it. You want the water to evaporate and then it should be fine. Maybe in like 20 minutes, 20-30 minutes. I want to say this will be cooked. The stove that I'm using is very strong. The middle one of mine is like the strongest. So hopefully it'll take about 30 minutes. Okay, in the meantime, while my chicken is cooking, do you remember that paste that I showed you guys? The tamarind cooking paste? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this block out and make sure you have water that's boiled, or that you just boiled, whatever. And take the tamarind cooking paste. And okay, now how much you want to use is completely up to you. For me, it changes every time I make biryani. Today I'm going to use about, oh my god, it's like really hard to cut, so just be careful, okay? I'll show you once I cut this. Alright, it's easier to just break it up, okay? So I'm going to use, this was the whole block, okay? So I'm using this much of the block. I'm putting it into a bowl, and I'm just going to put some hot water, like boiled water into it, so it can soften. So it's easier to cook. You can put this directly in there, but I just feel like putting it in water makes it a lot easier. It says it's seedless, but there's still stuff in here that will like be chunky in your biryani, which is fine because there's laitian, there's longan, like there's stuff that you're gonna probably get in your mouth while you're eating it, and this is just gonna be one of those things. Okay, so while that's sort of softening, let me just give you an update on what the chicken looks like. This is what my chicken's looking like right now. Giving it a little bit of a stir. Just kind of rotating it, moving it around so it doesn't get stuck anywhere. And this is still in like the searing phase, so you want to make sure that you're cooking it as evenly as possible. Alright, my chicken's coming along nicely. I'll show you once I throw in my imli paste. Alright, in the meantime I got my lemons ready, which I'm going to use for the dum, or for the steaming in English as you would call it. And I'm just slicing them in like really thin slices. I'll show you in a second. The knife that I'm using is so shitty. It needs to be sharpened. But I'm cutting them in like these thin slices. Make sure you take the seeds out because you don't want somebody swallowing the seeds. I'm taking dhania, aka cilantro, this much of it, and I'm just gonna chop it up and throw that into the chicken too. If you don't have dhania, you're not missing out on this stuff. I just had it. This is what my kitchen looks like right now on the day I'm making biryani. It could be messier, you guys. It could be messier. Alright, so here's where we're at with the chicken. Wanna make sure you keep stirring, don't let it burn at the bottom. Okay, another thing, I didn't mention this before, but you can make it with boneless chicken. However, when you use chicken with bone, it tastes a lot better. And that's traditionally what biryani should be, like bone-in chicken. So make sure. I mean, if you do want to make it with boneless chicken, like I would say to take like some bones and just use some of the bones just for that extra flavor. But I always use it with bone-in chicken. And I prefer legs, so I always add extra legs to it. And then I'm taking these green chilies, and I'm gonna use this for when I'm steaming it with the rice. So I'm taking like, I don't know, I'm gonna take 7. Yeah, I'm gonna take 7. 6, 7. I should probably taste the chicken before I decide how many peppers I use, but like general rule of thumb, I usually take 7 because 7's my favorite number. But like taste it first. Don't just make it extra spicy without tasting it. Okay, so see how the chicken is starting to look a little bit darker? That's what you're looking for. You want the masala to look like it's getting deeper, like the chicken is changing color, it's cooking. At this point, you can taste it. Taste if you want to add more salt, if you want to make it spicier, whatever you want to do, you do it at this point. Alright, at this point, because my chicken is almost done, I'm going to start boiling my rice. Okay? I filled my water like to the top of the pot. You're going to cook this like in open water. You're not steaming the rice, you are cooking the rice. To my pot of water, I'm adding 6 teaspoons of salt. Okay, drain out your pre-soaked rice and then just add it to the water right away. You don't have to wait for your water to start boiling. You can just toss it in. But okay, the trick to cooking your rice is don't cook the rice all the way. Cook it like, I want to say 3/4 of the way, because it's going to finish cooking when you steam the chicken with the rice. So you don't want to overdo it at this stage, okay? So make sure you're watching how much time you're giving your rice.
I think you got time to shower now.
I desperately need to shower. I smell like onions and chicken and God knows what else. Okay, in order to prepare my stomach for what's about to happen to it today, I am eating isbawal, aka psyllium husk in English. It's really good for you, especially if you have stomach problems. So I'm gonna eat it in applesauce because that's how I eat it.
Are you eating isbawal?
The thing about this is you have to eat it so fast. It's kind of nasty because like I'll be gagging on it, like, oh, it's nasty. Okay, so I want to show you something about the rice, okay? So you take a piece of rice and then you want to like press it in between your finger, your nail, or whatever, and it should take a little bit of pressure to break it in half, but not a lot. Like it shouldn't be that soft, but it should be like the perfect al dente. Al dente. How do you say al dente? I don't know, I think I said it right. But yeah, so my rice is done. It's not fully cooked. It's like just about like 80% cooked. And now I'm gonna strain it and set it aside. And then I'm gonna steam it together. And also I need a shower, so I'm gonna do all that stuff and then come back and dum it, steam it, whatever, together at the end. And I have my lemons ready. I have my peppers ready. You can use more if you want. And then this is called cura, something like that. I don't know. But it's basically for the aroma, and you put this on top of your biryani. And then you can also use food coloring too if you want. Okay, so my chicken is done, and I'm gonna use this pot to do the dum or the steam or whatever. So I'm removing the chicken into a separate dish because the bottom layer should be rice, not chicken. Okay, I removed my chicken, put it in this dish, made a huge mess, but it's okay because I'm using this pot for the dum. So at the bottom, I'm gonna add oil and then a layer of rice. I'm using this plate to put it in so I don't break the rice as I'm doing it. So I'm adding that first layer down, sprinkle of salt.
Would you like a smaller dish?
Stop! I tried to do the best I could. save enough rice because rice is gonna be your top layer too. So have just enough for the top layer. I'm also gonna throw in the chilies. Doesn't really matter how you put it in. Lemons. I'll do the ugly lemons in this layer and leave the pretty ones for the top layer. I know people be making it all cute and stuff. There, I tried. Now at this stage I'm gonna add food coloring. I didn't add food coloring before because I'm not really a fan of the whole food coloring thing, but it's traditional, so you have to do it. And this is whatever's left of my chicken. Alright, I have my orange food coloring and I'm literally just throwing it in random places on the rice. And then like when it's cooked, you're gonna mix it all in anyway, so it'll look better. And I'm using the powder kind, but you can totally use liquid if you want. And then I'll even throw in some food coloring in my leftover rice just to, because I forgot to do this earlier, honestly. Lemons. Okay. Cura water. It's just like an essence, like for aroma. I'll put like a little bit more. And then if you want, throw in some more chilies. I added 7, remember? So I'm just gonna add like 3 more, 4 more for good measure. Okay, and that's it. Now this is gonna dum, but I'm not gonna do it yet. I'll do it when my mama comes. But this is like the whole assembling of it. Okay, this is the top layer. Covering it with foil, and I preheated my oven to 300, and I'm gonna stick it in there. Okay, my mom came to do the dumbing because I failed at it. Mom, be careful. Hi. What are you doing, Mom? I did this all by myself.
Let me tell you.
Delicious biryani made by Hamna.
Yeah.
So that's good though. At least they did that.
You have to do that, Dad.
You guys like and comment if you want my mom to make aloo ke parathe and YouTube video next.
And then right now,
She's always camera shy, so I always tell her to make videos.
So good. Mashallah.
I made so much. I'm like feeding an army.
We don't have choice.
Where is the other plate? The thin one. Oh yeah. That's
the time is only so they can have like an influx of people.
Did you taste some?
looks perfect.
Really? I don't know.
Tell people to wash their hands and come.
Alright, you guys, wash your hands. Get ready. It's time to eat.
They're doing it there too.
Yeah.
There's still more, but we're only dishing out this much for now.
No, it's a electronic wallet.
There is that.
You already get committed to somebody at 5. And then I realized it's too much work. My computer didn't have nothing.
Yes, standard na level. What do you mix?
I just got it because there was a... Yeah, but they're like boyfriend jeans. Hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
Staring at me.
Alright guys, can you come? It's gonna get cold. Can you assemble everybody?
Can you guys come? The food is ready. He doesn't like.
Did you put tomato in it?
No. You're gonna learn that biryani doesn't need tomato. My mother-in-law never puts tomato in her biryani and it's still bomb every time. I'm telling you.
I don't know.
You ate my biryani last time. You liked it?
I thought you put tomato.
No, I don't. I never put tomatoes. No, see? Then you'll be biased. Mina's the one in the family who loves tomatoes. Okay. Alright, y'all.
Should we start?
Yeah, go ahead. Start. Please. Start. Finished product.
What time?
Salad. Hungry people who are just staring but not starting.
Okay, go ahead, start already. Why me?
Alright, now sit down and just please.
Mom's not gonna start. Start, Mom.
I
I told you she's not gonna start. Can you just start, please?
You might have to pay me
Somebody has
royalties.
to break the whole staring at the food.
I would expect some
Let it be.
royalties for being on this.
Okay. If we get paid on
It's monetary. No, you have to pay me regardless, guys.
Rama, you are not star of the show here, okay?
What about a stipend? Can we get a stipend?
No, listen, the only thing that you'll get is recognition.
For what? What about an honorarium?
I'll give you
Decided that
an
part
award.
yet.
Yeah.
I'll give you guys an
A
award.
monetary award?
Maybe.
I need a monetary award here.
I want some
I
makeup.
don't work for free.
I want some makeup.
Is it worth a lot of money?
I'm
Yeah.
feeding you biryani here.
Oh,
More than enough.
Oh my god, who put that?
so your dad's not even eating. He's
I know.
like, no royalties, no eating.
It's so good.
Now it's like there's some tomato in here. I'm not eating.
हमने पहले तो बनाई है.
नहीं क्या
Did you use a Sean masala?
Yeah. That's
Cindy
my
biryani,
favorite.
regular
Yeah.
biryani.
I love it. Sean knows what he's doing.
Biryani. I used to
Whoever Sean is.
That's the one I use.
क्या बॉम्बे भी अच्छी बनती है
Yeah.
You had like a mixture.
Sean like knows what he's doing, so you might as well believe in him. Remember that one time you made other burritos for us and just like 2 hours? You? Yeah, when mom was making.
Oh yeah. We need to make it bracket, not all of
Oh
them.
yeah. I know. Where were we?
At your house.
home. Where?
When mom was in
I
Pakistan.
was in Richmond.
No, here.
There. Mom was in Pakistan. She was on this wedding shopping.
So what was I doing? We were making it bracket.
We had some like you and we were just like getting each other.
Yeah.
I'm not getting married.
I like have no memory of this.
When was Hamna getting married?
When I was pregnant.
Yeah, you were pregnant.
We were pregnant, yeah.
And you were pregnant again. And we just came to support you to eat, basically.
Okay, now for dessert, my mom made this lovely walnut halwa. Also, like and comment if you want the recipe for this, if she's willing to share. But it's really good.
Alright, Hamna, thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem.
I've lost my wife. Wow.
Thank you. My Dee sister.
Alright, serious game right now between these two. You guys want to say bye?
No,
Not yet?
not yet. We're not ready. Somebody hit me again! Oh shit. It's coming for me. Fuck!
Oh, damn. Yeah.
Bye guys.
Alright,
That's
bye.
it. I'll leave the recipe for the biryani today in my description bar. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.